A very good afternoon. Welcome to BBC London. I'm Thomas Magill. Two climate change protesters who climbed up the QE2 bridge on the Dartford crossing have been found guilty of causing a public nuisance. Their actions in October led to miles of traffic for several days. Morgan Troland and Marcus Decker said it was a legitimate act of peaceful protest. From Basildon Crown Court, Charlotte Rose reports.
40-year-old Morgan Troland and 34-year-old Marcus Decker did not react as the verdict was read out this morning. The two climate protesters have been found guilty of causing a public nuisance by climbing pillars of the Dartford crossing, which led to its closure last October. During the trial, jurors heard how the two men used ropes and other climbing equipment to reach 200 foot above the road, where they then unfurled a Just Stop Oil banner and rigged up hammocks. It led to the closure of the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge from 4 a.m. on October the 17th to 9 p.m. the following day. The closure caused gridlock for miles on either side of the crossing, which meant that the stunt made national headlines. The pair came down at 5:30 p.m. on the 18th of October with the help of police and a very tall cherry picker. Marcus Decker was captured on body-worn video camera singing "We'll be the change the world needs to see." The prosecution says regardless of their beliefs in climate change, their actions were a public nuisance. Mr. King said small businesses lost, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of pounds. People missed loved ones' funerals. Children were left by the side of the road waiting for buses. The pair will be sentenced next Thursday on the 13th of April.
Charlotte Rose reporting there. Campaigners fighting for a public inquiry into mental health deaths at a hospital trust in Essex believe the government is about to give it the go-ahead. As many as 2,000 deaths over 20 years are being investigated at Essex Partnership University NHS Foundation Trust. An independent inquiry would have full legal powers to compel witnesses to give evidence. So far, only 11 current and former staff members have agreed to come forward. Melanie Leahy's son Matthew died whilst he was an inpatient with the trust.
I've met with John Whittendale, I've met with Priti Patel, I've met with Dr. Rosina. And now, at last, we have a handful of Essex MPs that are now standing strong in support. It's got to be a good thing because this issue is not going away and, you know, the death toll continues and we must make the changes necessary and get this inquiry. It's vital.
A murder investigation's begun in Mitcham after a man in his 20s was shot dead overnight. He was found on Croydon Road shortly before 2:30 and taken to hospital but died shortly afterwards. No one's been arrested. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was in Hammersmith earlier to see how the community there is supporting low-income families ahead of the Easter holidays. For many, it's a time when some families struggle with children off school and at home for longer. Last week, a £3.5 million emergency package was announced. Its aim to provide 10 million free meals at weekends and over school holidays for the next year. Luke Hanrahan reports.
A free half-term holiday lunch in Hammersmith. Food funded by the Mayor of London that's benefiting thousands of children across the capital this Easter.
Having kind of like a massive meal time with other children, so that's been really fun. She really enjoys that part. When we get towards the end of the session, she's always asking about the fruits and other children, so she runs over to the table, so she really does enjoy.
Obviously, with everything that's going on with the cost of living, it's an opportunity for the kids to have a good meal, a healthy meal.
They love the snack time, the play time, the teachers are great, so it's lovely, yeah.
Salad! Wow! The Mayor's Fund for London has backed projects like this one across the capital to the tune of more than £3.5 million.
Half of Londoners are financially struggling or just about managing. That means it's really hard to put food on the table. Many parents are really struggling. They're skipping meals themselves so their kids can eat. And this provides a lifeline, particularly during the school holidays.
Initiatives that don't just provide sustenance, but social activities too.
Eating healthily, first of all, and ensuring that there's access to hot meals on a regular basis, which a lot of our children don't have access to. It's given kind of a provision for them to kind of get together, socialise, play, make friends, especially in an area such as this, which is highly deprived.
The funding will be spread out over the next 12 months, providing food for families at holidays and weekends. It's hoped it will produce around 10 million free meals during that time. Luke Hanrahan, BBC London.
Cucumbers and peppers?
Travel experts are warning there could be severe queues on the roads ahead of the Easter getaway. The RAC say up to 17 million car trips will be made over the bank holiday. The M25 is also expected to see double the usual volume of traffic, and there will be no trains running to or from London Euston between Good Friday and Easter Monday. Now, for the very few, being able to create a work of art is a rare and a special gift. But that could all be about to change thanks to the power of artificial intelligence. An exhibition of drawings created by AI is due to open here in London next month. And there wasn't a single easel, paintbrush or drawing pad in sight. How does it work? Well, I'll let the artist, Sam Burford, explain.
My name's Sam Burford. I'm a London-based artist and I'll be showing at Photo London for the first time this year, which I'm very excited about. And I'm going to be showing a range of work, including some of my kind of earlier practice, which is about time-lapse photographs of cinema and creating three-dimensional objects from cinematic time, and also looking at this very emergent form of AI art. So the ability to create these sort of near photorealistic images from text prompts. I think it's a very interesting opportunity to show these works, which on the face of it look like photographs have been taken, you know, with a physical camera and have a kind of evidentiary sort of status. And these are completely synthetic. And I think to see that in amongst other traditional photography and to begin to build up a debate between these two different forms of image making, I think is very necessary. I think it's a very disruptive technology because in some ways it's going to put some photographers out of work. It's certainly going to put a lot of artists out of work. But it's here, it's very emergent. You know, the genie's out of the bottle. I don't think it's going back in again. And so in that sense, I think we need to move forwards and try and discuss and understand what the impacts are. And it is going to impact all of visual culture.
There you go. Time for a look at the weather with Elizabeth Rizzini.
Hello there, good afternoon. It was a cold, frosty start to what's turned into a glorious day of weather. Plenty of blue sky and sunshine out there, as captured by our weather watchers here in Perivale, in Chiswick and again in Euston. And the blue sky is just set to continue as we head through the rest of this afternoon. Perhaps a bit of wispy high cirrus cloud in the way at times, but not enough to spoil the sunshine. It will feel pleasantly warm in the best of the sunshine as well, even if temperatures are only about the seasonal average on the thermometer, 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. The winds are lighter than they were yesterday. Now through this evening and overnight it will be dry with clear skies at first. It will stay dry throughout the night, but our weather fronts out towards the west will just start to throw us a bit more cloud into the start of the day tomorrow. So temperatures won't be quite so low, but still possibly a touch of frost. And while we'll still see some brighter spells around tomorrow, particularly through the morning, then there will generally be a bit more cloud around. The cloud will thicken from the west as we head towards the end of the day. And by the time we get to Wednesday evening, there'll also be some outbreaks of rain. Temperatures not quite so high. Now, the rain will turn quite heavy on Wednesday night into Thursday, clearing on Thursday morning to leave behind it some showers throughout the day on Thursday, but also some sunny spells. And then high pressure builds back in time for the Easter bank holiday weekend.
And there's much more on all of today's stories on the BBC website. That's all from me. Samantha Simmons will be here with your Tea Time news programme at 6:30. But for now, have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.